right now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you your first act. Our first performer tonight, he's making his debut here at Atlanta Magic Night. He's been performing since he was a kid. He was kind of a prankster when he was growing up, as many of us were. You know, joy buzzers with the hand, and whoopee cushions, and shorting sheets with people. You remember those days. And he's sort of progressed from that to more sleight of hand-based magic, and now by day he is a practicing attorney in Midtown, but you may have seen him performing at any number of corporate events and other special events around town. I had the honor of performing with him in a big event down at Pont City Market not too long ago. So please put your hands together for our opening act tonight, Chris Moorman.
Good evening, everyone. Y'all hear me okay? Yes. How's everybody doing? We're going to start with a box. Second row, what is your name? Keith? Ethan. They can't see as well as you can from the way back. If you could just verify that there are no trap doors, hidden mirrors, bunny rabbit stacks of cards, just a regular empty box, correct? No, incorrect. Ethan, you have one job. Thank you all so much for being here, and thank you mostly for supporting the art of magic. My name's Chris Moorman, and we're going to start with a little mentalism. And the idea is that I'm going to ask someone who I do not know some questions, and based on that, I will try to predict what someone will say in the future. You, sir, third row back. What is your name? Charlie. Chris, thank you for being here. You can stay where you are. Charlie, I'd like for you to think of a 3-digit number between 1 and 1,000. Got it? Now remember this. Just a random 3-digit number. And so, I'm just going to start tabula rasa here, Charlie. Charlie, where are you from originally? New York. How long have you lived here? Okay. And how many siblings do you have? One. And are you the older or the younger? Charlie, do you like ketchup or mustard better? What's that? Ketchup. I thought so. And Charlie, what character from the movie Spaceballs do you most identify with? You know, Charlie, some questions are better left unanswered. Charlie, are you still remembering the 3-digit number? Okay. I want you to block out everything else. I want you to concentrate on that number. Charlie, was your number 962? Charlie, thank you. Further back, I need someone with a cell phone. Lady right there. Would you stand up, please? What is your name? Amanda. We're going to try to add a layer of impossibility to what just happened. You have your cell phone? Amanda, cell phones can exist in one of two states. They can be on or they can be off. Is your cell phone on or is it off?
It is on.
Now, Amanda, stay with me. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you have a calculator app on your cell phone?
Yes.
Would you activate that app? And just hit clear on the calculator.
Okay.
Now, clear your mind and look at the screen on the calculator and look, is there a single digit that appears just above the division symbol?
Yes.
And for the first time in a loud, clear voice, what digit are you looking at?
0.
There it is. so obliged, because this is Atlanta Magic Night. But first I have to tell you about some baggage that I brought with me. Actually, I brought 2 bags with me. I have an imagination bag, and I have a reality bag. Now, in the imagination bag, there is a world of possibilities. Anything that you can conceive of in your mind's eye. And then there's reality. The problem that many people have is that it's hard to get what exists in this bag to come out of this bag. You know what I mean? You dog owners know what I mean. So, I've devised a little experiment to see if we can create a parallel between what we imagine and what is real. And I need a volunteer to help me. Maybe someone over here on this wall. I'll approach over here. You can stay where you are. What is your name? Celeste, would you hold on to the imagination? You can sit down. Thank goodness. All right. I'm going to ask you to reach inside the imagination bag in just a moment. But first, we're going to look at one more item from the reality bag. A deck of cards. Woo! And the reality is, this took a lot of lonely nights. Is that good? Okay, so we have a reality deck of cards here, and you can see they're all there, red and black, face cards and number cards. And to sort of narrow things down a little bit, we're going to commit ourselves to just one card. And we'll go with this one right here. And you can think of this as the reality card. And we'll put this just here for now. Get back to that now. Celeste, do you still have the imagination bag? Celeste, can you reach in the imagination bag and imagine that you're pulling out a box of bicycle playing cards? In fact, you can drop the bag on the floor. All right? Now imagine that you're opening the box of cards and pulling out the playing cards. And imagine that you can see that they're all there in your imagination, the red cards, the black cards, face cards, and number cards. Imagine that in an instant you could cause the cards to separate red from black so that all of the black cards were in your right hand and all the red cards were in your left. Now if you were to give away one of those 2 groups of cards to the person on your right, which one would you give away? Okay, so you kept the black ones for yourself. All right, now, Celeste, I want you to imagine that you took those black cards and you tossed them into the air. And as they were in the air, they separated face cards from number cards. So that one group remained hovering in the air and the other group fell gently back down. So in your imagination, which cards are hovering in the air? The face cards or the number cards? Okay. Now, I want you to reach up. Those are the black face cards. I want you to reach up and grab one of those face cards. Now, would you stand up? So now you grab one of those black face cards. All right? And we're down to a single playing card. So was the black face, was it a jack, a queen, or a king? You see, because we started with the reality card a moment ago. And Pablo Picasso said that everything that you can imagine is real. Is your card, is the imaginary card in your hand the queen of clubs or the queen of spades? Imagination, reality. Would I see that? Celeste, you're so nice. Would you help me with a card trick? Let's give Celeste a hand. Would you come on? Yes. Yes, you have to come sit right here. And you can bring the imagination back with you. You can sit right here. Thank you. All right. You're sweet to help me. This is good. So, hold out a finger like this. Precisely like this. And then touch the back of any card that you like. We'll leave it right where it is. I'm going to leave it right where it is. I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to show it to anyone else just yet. So you have to remember this card. Because if we get to the end and the lady doesn't remember her card, then we have a trick with no plot. So, it's a possibility. So, they say that you should trust the intuition of a woman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dribble cards like that. Stop me when your intuition says to stop. And we'll see if you can match with your card. You ready? Right there. What was your card? Is that it? Oh, so close. 4 of clubs. So your intuition was close. But I'll tell you what, I will believe in your intuition if you believe in my magic. Your card was the... Good night. So, the 4 of clubs, but your card was the... Not bad, huh? Thank you. Now, do me a favor, hold on to that. And I would like for you to sign your name or your initials, big and bold, anywhere on the face of that card. Perfect, perfect. Recap here. Now, do you normally go around signing playing cards like that?
Every day.
Every day? So, but there shouldn't be too many of these 5 of clubs with your initials on. Now, can everybody see this? Just for safekeeping, we will place that card in the dead center of the deck. Now, I have found that ambitious people will choose cards that rise to the top. And the way we determine whether that happens is we go like that. And when we do that, 1 card jumps right back to the top. Which is a good sign for you. Good sign. Now we'll do this again, just because I can. So, the card's going to go right in the middle. Okay? It's as fair as I can be. Well, it's as fair as I'm going to be. Anyway. And it goes. So here's why this is difficult or tricky for someone in your where you're sitting, because the backs of the cards are all the same. So it's difficult to tell where your card is when it's face down. Face up, it's obviously easy. So we're going to leave it sticking out just until the last little moment. And in fact, you can push it in the last little way, and then it goes in here. Now watch this. That it? That it? I realize this is the world's longest card trick, but we're about done with it. So here's what's going to happen now. The card is going to jump from the middle of the deck into my pocket back here. Watch this. It's already happened. How cool would that be if this was Celeste's card? It's not. But it would have been cool. Hold on to that. Another chance. No. Butkus. You know what? It would be so much better. Could you reach in? I would like to do that. Was it either of those two? Tell you what. Was it any of these? No. Tell you what. We'll just cut to the chase here, because now we have the balance of the deck. It's in my back pocket. Leaving over here 1 card and 1 card only, and it is the side. So, at this point, and you're going to get to see 2 magicians much better than me, but at this point, people always want to know, how does this work? You know, is it sleight of hand? Is it an illusion? And I would really like to explain how at least one trick works. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to hypnotize everyone in the room. Some of you already look a little hypnotized. Mass audience hypnosis. You'll see what I mean in a moment, but first I need to introduce you to 3 lengths of rope I have a short rope here, and I have a, I seem to be missing the middle rope. And you know, to a lesser magician, this would really be a problem, improper prop management. But I have found sometimes when you don't have what you need, if you just think sweet thoughts, you'll get what you need. And so that's why I always bring some ready with. So just bear with me here while we get out of this dilemma. Let's see here. Okay. So see now, so I have 3 lengths of rope. I need to have all 3 lengths of rope examined. Madam? Oh my gosh. You, sir? Did you examine that one? How about this one? You checked the rope? I said, madam. I'm not entirely certain what your vocation is. Check the rope, make sure it's just ordinary cotton household rope. The kind of rope you probably have in your bedroom at home. Yeah. Is yours okay? Is yours okay? Okay. Because you are the eyes and the ears of everyone behind you. All right. So I said hypnosis. What I mean is this. All of the illusions that you see in magic have only 2 principles behind them which make them work. One is, of course, sleight of hand, or dexterity of the fingers. The other is a principle called misdirection, or psychology, or as I prefer to call it, suggestion. Now in this particular illusion, I'm holding the ropes at the base of the fingers. So this eliminates any possibility of sleight of hand since the sensitivity is in the fingertips. So that leaves me only one way to convince you that you're seeing an illusion, if in fact there is an illusion to be seen, and that is through the power of suggestion alone. But that power is so strong in this case that it constitutes hypnosis. Now in just a moment, these 3 lengths of rope, which you know are different, are going to appear to be the same size. So it's only going to work if you're hypnotized. Incidentally, have I done anything tricky here? Good answer. Now this will happen on the count of 3, but before I do anything else, I'll show you the fronts of my hands and I'll show you the backs. But it still happens that on the count of 1, 2, 3 lengths of rope, which appear to be the same size. But let's take a good look at these ropes to make sure they are in fact the same size. There's the first length right there, which is exactly the same size as the second length, which is precisely the same size as the third length. 3 solid separate single strong lengths of rope. Now if you can see that these 3 lengths of rope are the same size, hold up your hand like this. You know what that means, don't you? You're all hypnotized. Now I will break the spell also on the count of 3, and when I break the spell, you will remember nothing. And yet you will applaud wildly. The more you applaud, the better you will feel, and that's on the count of 1, 2, and 3. You know, when I do the rope tricks, this always reminds me of my first date with Debbie. Where are you, sweetheart? There she is. Oh, she's over here. It was our first long date, and we were out really late at night, and I said, you know, would you like to come back to my apartment? And she said, do you have cable? And I said, no, but I got rope. I give Debbie a hard time. Debbie always likes to tell me I'm the only one she's ever been with, because all the others were 7s and 8s. So that's all the time I have this evening. It's been a blast performing for you.